Look at that. That's a watermelon, a hummingbird, dark yellow. Is that a color? When I first started my gardening journey, I wanted to do all the things. Look how pretty that is, y'all. They are very prolific. Yes, they do make seeds. Get over here and mow these weeds down. Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space out in my backyard. And today we're going on a proper garden tour. One of our lengthy garden tours where we walk through and we talk about everything growing in my Zone 7B in Virginia backyard. And I grow in ground, I grow in raised beds, I grow in no dig beds, I grow in green stalks, I grow in greenhouses, I grow up vertically, I grow in bags, I grow in containers. So there is a way that is feasible for anyone who wants to grow in my urban backyard. And so I figured today we could go on a garden tour. We did a mini garden tour, and before that it had been like 2 weeks. And so we're gonna go on a very lengthy garden tour today. Also, if you were here earlier this week, I amended some beds, I put some straw in it, super excited and proud for myself. If you're new here, I have one chicken that free roams my garden. It's only been about a week. She undid all of that work for me yesterday. So we're probably gonna have to figure that out. But anyway, we're gonna go on a garden tour. I'm pretty excited. I did a larger harvest yesterday, so it's not gonna be a lot out here to harvest. But for the end of July, the garden is looking great. And I'm about to plant carrot seeds. I am about to plant potatoes. I am planting my seeds so that I can get my seedlings for fall started. Because I do grow 365 days a year here. So as long as we don't have a wild winter like we did last year, something will be growing every day of the year. So anyway, y'all, like I said, if you're new here, my name is Asia. I garden in Virginia Zone 7B, and I'm gonna take you on a garden tour today. So while this is not a part of the garden, I want to show you, I have started my fall seedlings. These are kales, these are collards, broccolis. I'm very excited. I want all the broccoli this year. In case you are new here, I am planning to plant my entire main garden with broccoli and collards. Those are the things I really want. I want a lot to preserve. And then I have these green stalks behind me, and that's where I plan to plant my leafy greens, my kohlrabies, things like that. Carrots, lettuces, that kind of stuff is going to go into the green stalks. But yes, I have started my seeds, and we have some over here. I still have more seeds to start, but I also need a place to put them. So right here in this space is where a new greenhouse will be going. I have the greenhouse, probably have had the greenhouse for a month or so, and still have not put the greenhouse up. But last week I started the process of getting ready to put the greenhouse up. But back to the garden tour, we have green stalks. These are vertical planters that you can grow just about anything in. They have them in basically 2 different pocket sizes. You have the original. I'm trying to find some way to put this coffee. Sorry, y'all. You have the original, which is 10-inch pockets. I'm growing all kinds of stuff in these. That's my favorite pocket size. But I have peppers growing in here, and we harvested those earlier this week. And then they have what they call the leaf, and that is a 7-inch pocket. And so over here, I have herbs in my leaf planters, and I absolutely love the way that they grow herbs. So we have a bunch of thyme in here. I pulled some of this thyme yesterday for dinner. We got a bunch of sage. We got parsley, we got a chicken, we have oregano at the bottom, and so it's doing really good. This oregano you can't really see that well, and there is also a rosemary in here somewhere. I just need to find it, and I don't water this one much at all. There it goes, because rosemary is definitely one of those plants that don't need a lot of water, but neither do most of the herbs. They can survive a little bit of drought, and so I don't do a lot of watering of either one of these green stalks right here. And we do still need to get some more herbs put in here. I plan to start my herbs in the winter, and there's a little bit of basil left in here too. I'm planning to start my herbs during the winter, and I'll just get them out in spring. Herbs take a while to get started and a while to grow, and I'm just gonna use my energy right now on getting my fall seedlings started. We do have another green stalk over here, which we will probably be clearing out soon for fall. Has a lot of marigolds in it with no marigolds marigold flowers on it. There's a Swiss chard plant in here, bean plants that have looked better, more bean plants down here that have looked better, a large marigold with literally no flowers on them. So we have sunflowers that have seen better days in here too. End of July, this lemon green stalk absolutely will be getting cleared out soon. But we have more green stalks over here, mostly growing peppers at this point. These are flowers, and this was looking great, and then it wasn't. So it's probably time to just start clearing out the green stalks in general. And so yeah, this one was pretty flowers, and then all of a sudden it just wasn't pretty flowers, y'all. Same thing here. We got beans that have looked better. You got marigolds. These marigolds are beautiful though. Like the one on the other side is really pretty. You got two sunflowers right there too. Beautiful. We got a pepper plant. I think it's a jalapeno that had a hornworm issue, and I'm not looking for it because it's the end of the season. I'll be pulling stuff soon. Got more pepper plants up here. Like I said, we did a big harvest. Some sunflowers down here. That one is just now opening. Beautiful. These are the marigolds I was telling y'all about. Look how pretty those are. They are beautiful. I think I got them from a store. Oh, I broke that. Safari Baleario. The chicken might like it. Anywho, another green stalk. And over here, you have some 3-tier green stalks. I've grown to really love this height. And so in here, we got some flowers. We have some tomatoes that have seen better days. Those are patio varieties. I'm just waiting for the last few to ripen, and then we're gonna pull those out. Peppers didn't do so well in here. They got planted pretty late too. We got some beans going in here. Still got flowers on them, so that's cool. See, you got flowers there. Oh, and I have started putting them on pavers. I have the rest of the pavers in the car with the sand. I have just been forgetting to ask my son to get it out of the car for me. And so we still have this one right here that needs to be put on a paver, but we also need to harvest this. When I was harvesting yesterday, completely forgot about this one. Look at that nice size shishito pepper on there. Oh, there's beans on here too. Tomatoes, but waiting for those to ripen. Also patio variety. Down here, I saw, whoa, there's one very big bean. There's a few beans on here. But these bean plants are starting to produce. They were planted a little bit later. This green stalk is gonna come up a little bit so that it can match right here. And then the greenhouse will be here. So your two green stalks that'll be in front of the greenhouse will be the pretty 3-tier raspberry. I thought that was a good idea. Also, I have another blackberry that I'm gonna swap out with the pink blossom because I want this just to be the blackberry and raspberry space. And I think that's gonna be so pretty, y'all. I'm honestly trying to design this time to not have to design again, if that makes sense. I just wanna do this the way that I want it, and then I wanna be done with it. I want the infrastructure in my garden to just kind of be, so I don't have to keep moving it around. Over here, if you aren't new here, you know this used to be an orchard. And when I originally put it in, I thought, oh, I just want it to be so messy. I want it to be just a big mess of things. I did not actually want that. We pulled out the peach trees, we pulled out the apple trees, we pulled out the fig trees. I did keep one fig tree because it was growing figs. It's over in the main garden. The others, I gave to another homesteader. So they are still going to grow somewhere. They're just not going to grow here. And so over here now we have green stalks, which gets way more space so that when I turn them, the plants aren't like touching each other and breaking. Now these two right here are pretty close. The strawberries are gonna go dormant in the fall and winter, right? And I'm probably gonna cut them back. So for now, I can pretty much plant whatever I want to plant in here, but I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna do some carrots. They are a little less bushy, but because this is still gonna be here, I'm still trying to think this through. I could move it a little bit, but the problem is you then have the grapevine, and the grapevine will grow on anything. So this one is empty right now. I'm pretty sure this is going to be potatoes soon. That's gonna be carrots. These strawberry green stalks are always going to be strawberries, so that's not something that we switch out because strawberries are perennial. They will come back every year. And you can see from the last time, they are level now. This one was leaning so bad the last time I showed this area, I think. And these two have fallen over. That one has fallen twice. This fell once, which is what made me say, let me go get some sand, because just absolutely not. And this one, that might be carrots right here. I might be wrong. This might be carrots because I don't want a lot of carrots. I gotta go check my book. Anyway, that's what this space is looking like. I'm excited because I'm also gonna try to use the larger plant trellises on these now that I have space. The next spot on my homestead that we're gonna take a look at is my Bootstrap Farmer greenhouse. So this is a hobby greenhouse and it fits in my backyard. They say that it's good for HOAs. So it is a 10 by 12 in case you are looking for something to go in your backyard. It does have roll up sides. Absolutely love that. It's kind of like having a high tunnel, but it's just a much shorter one and I love it. I do have shade cloth on it right now. That's 50% shade cloth and it's white. I like that. But in here we have peppers that have ants and aphids, so we're not touching them. See, we have cayenne. There's a cayenne pepper in the back that's coming to the front, but we also have jalapenos in here. Only time I'm really touching it, and it's really just these in the front. The ones back here don't seem to have ants or aphids. I truly do not understand how this is working. If you're new here, I've been fighting ants and aphids for 2 years now. A lot of people have given me suggestions. I'm not really a sprayer, and I did get neem oil this year, and I was like, I'm gonna do it, and I still didn't do it. If you're new here, I got a chip drop last year, and that's where I think a lot of the ants came from, and ants and aphids work together. Now, what I will tell you is last year, I came outside one day and they were gone, and my plants were starting to produce, and by the time that we got to fall or our first frost, I had harvested a lot of peppers. So that's kind of what I'm doing this year too. I'm not harvesting the ones with the ants a lot. I take a day and I try to get as many as I can. I don't want ants and aphids all over me. Well, not aphids, but the ants. I don't want them all over me. Anyway, back here you have shishito peppers and they are growing nicely. And you also have candy cane peppers and they're also growing nicely. These were very prolific plants. They still are. So I'm saying they were because we're about to be switching over to fall. And I have them in tomato cages. Also, my chicken, I literally just came in here and put this back. I'm fighting a losing battle. I gotta figure this out. She may not be a free roamer because yeah, I'm fighting a losing battle here. And I had just put some tomatoes in. They probably aren't gonna do well because she's literally been digging up this space. Anyway, shishito peppers doing real good, and we need to come in here and harvest them. You see them down there? The pepper bed looks really good over here. There was one pepper back here. It was a candy cane. I had to pull it. It got a disease, and so I was like, no need to keep this in here because I don't want it to spread. So I pulled that. There's some basil in here too. My basil didn't do great this year, and that's okay. But over here, like I was saying, we planted some new tomatoes. She even like started back here. Like, girl, she's tearing up my stuff. Anyway, up in the front, you have some big Bertha peppers. I put those in much later, but we also already have flowers coming along and no ants and aphids on those. It is so interesting to me. Over here, we have another green stalk. It's called tomato. Right now, the only thing in it is basil. It's supposed to have potatoes in it, but I think I'm gonna do something else since it's inside of the greenhouse, and we'll do a second potato one outside. But I have to figure that out. I haven't done the rethinking on this. But y'all, looky here. I'm trying to figure out how I can show y'all. Look at that. That's a watermelon. I'm excited. There's quite a few of them. They're a little small right now, but we also got a lot of flowers on here. So I need to get in here, and this is another bed that the chicken is digging, but I need to get in here, make sure it's watered well, and also fertilize it. The beds were made with really nutritious things in the first place, so rabbit manure, meal grinds. I still do think that I probably should do some additional fertilizing. So I will, and I like these trellises. They're doing really well for the watermelon. They are from Vego Garden. They're A-frame trellises. I really do like them. Try to step back. So see, they fit perfectly in here. They can be a bit taller, but that didn't work for my space, but they fit really nicely. And the watermelon, I think, will fill this in eventually if I continue to take care of it. And then right in the front, we have an eggplant, and this eggplant has been producing a lot this year, y'all, like a whole bunch. And it has another one down there that probably needs to be harvested. It's not shiny anymore. So let me take you closer. See, starting to probably get ready to produce seed. And I always have a problem with flea beetles, but they're not nearly as bad as they normally are. I'm excited about that. That's the Bootstrap Farmer greenhouse that will be planted with a lot of cabbage. I grew cabbage so successfully in here in the spring that this is probably the only place cabbage is going to be. And I'm also not planting a whole bunch of it because I do not eat sauerkraut. out. Coleslaw, I don't eat that stuff. So I'm not doing a whole bunch, but I do want to grow some so that I can cook it the way that I eat it, because I do like cabbage. And I don't eat kimchi, stuff like that. So the ways that I could use it that would be good for preserving, I don't eat it that way. So with that being the case, not growing a whole bunch of cabbage. I also am now seeing another spot this chicken was in, y'all. I got to figure out something with Brooklyn. I know she having a ball, baby, but she is turning up my garden. My next spot is my quick tent greenhouse, y'all. I've had this greenhouse for like 3 years. Absolutely love this greenhouse. And people have asked me, like, am I gonna take this down now that I have this one? And I absolutely am not. I love this greenhouse. That it is under a tree, right? And so I'm still trying to work to get this tree cut back. I'm gonna try in the fall when there aren't any leaves, or early spring, and see if I could get it cut back, because it does get shaded. However, it's still growing tomatoes. These are more patio tomatoes, and you can see right there we have some. This one is getting its second wind of growing, and so you can see the new foliage looks so much better than the old foliage. The old foliage has gone through all of the heat of the summer, but it's getting its second wave. In here, it still grows well for me. I wouldn't dare take this greenhouse down, and in the fall and in the spring, I've been able to grow in here. I've also been able to grow like zucchini early. No, I'm not gonna take it down. I actually really like this greenhouse. Right here is where I said the chicken had been. She also ate a tomato that did not fall off, but then she didn't even eat the whole thing. She just pulled it off and started eating a little bit. Anyway, roselle plant, I don't know, y'all. We leaving it though. See, like, it's getting new growth and it looks so much better. It was stunted for a good portion of the season, so we're leaving it. There's work that needs to be done in this greenhouse too. I had a whole bunch of rabbit manure. I needed to clear the bucket, so I came and put it in here. So that's why this bed looks like this. I need to come and work it in and then cover this bed. But you also have more tomatoes over here, and you got new flowers coming in. So we've gotten a lot of tomatoes out of here. They're all patio. Next year, I'll probably just plant this whole thing with patio tomatoes for the summer, because that's what did the best, and it's still doing the best. Had I known it was gonna do this good, I would have started more. I just think it's a little late in the season now. Although I could start them and they would go, a hummingbird. Yes, they're everywhere this year, y'all. I love a hummingbird. Anyway, it's still kind of late, but also not too late, I don't think, especially for a patio variety, because they're a miniature variety, and I think that they produce pretty quickly. They have a short days to maturity, but I'm not 100% sure. I probably need to go look it up, and if I have time, I might plant some more. So that is like the second portion of the garden. The main garden is where this whole thing started, where I first put my first garden bed, and then it just turned into what it is right now, y'all, which I absolutely love. It was not always my whole yard because my kids did not want me to. My son is now 3, and my daughter is 16. They do not care. And I, for one, am very excited about that, because I am getting to use my whole entire backyard to grow our food. So when you come into the garden, we have this beautiful grapevine. This beautiful muscadine grapevine, y'all, that I don't do anything to. I have allowed it to take over this entire trellis that was never supposed to be what happened here, but I allowed it because they are absolutely delicious. Also, very prolific. This grapevine is in the ground over behind those green stalks that I just showed you, and it has 2 trellises that it is on. I do not do any kind of pruning. People ask that question. I don't do anything to it. As of now, maybe at some point I might need to, but right now I don't do any kind of pruning or anything to this, and the grapevine is packed with grapes, if you can see down there. And I, for one, am excited. Now, do I sometimes get annoyed by having the duck when I come in? Do I sometimes get annoyed that it's just on everything? Yes. But do I also think, girl, you're gonna have a lot of grapes? Yes. And then I don't worry about it anymore. So when you come into my garden, you have this asparagus patch. This asparagus patch is being revamped, or I'm allowing it to rebuild itself, which is why it looks like this. If you do not harvest an asparagus, it turns into this. It ferns out, right? These ferns take in energy from the sun all year long. It sends it down to the crown, because asparagus are perennial. They come back every year. So there's a crown under the ground, and it strengthens that crown. I found that if if you cut them early. Okay, if you're new here, I don't follow rules. I rarely follow any of the gardening rules. I don't know. I follow some of them, but a lot of them I do not. So for, I don't know, 3 years, I was cutting this early. Like when it got to be too bushy and it got to be too much, I would cut it. The next year, it would come back, it would grow asparagus. I was good. This year, it did not happen for me. This asparagus bed looked so bad. It looks bad now, but for a good reason. But it looked so bad, I wasn't getting hardly any asparagus. And the only thing I could think of is you kept cutting it too early. The garden rules say like you're supposed to leave it until it dies so that the energy goes back down to the crown. This year, instead of harvesting asparagus, I just let them all fern, and then I'm literally gonna let this die, turn brown and crisp before I do anything to that bed this year. We'll see how it looks in spring of 2027. And over here you have another green stalk. I absolutely love green stalks. Oh, by the way, because I'm sure someone will ask the question or want to know. I normally get the question a lot. How many green stalks do I have? Have 17 total. I am affiliated with green stalk. I did not buy them all, but I did buy some of them. But yes, I'm an affiliate, and yes, they do gift me some of the green stalks. But I absolutely love them either way. This is the first one that got me on the green stalk train. It is a lilac. It's the first one that I ever purchased, and I purchased it one night on a whim. I was just like, spontaneously, I want to get a green stalk. I had wanted them for 5 years, and last year I decided, let me purchase one, and I did. Eggplant do really well in here. You wouldn't be able to tell it right now because the leaves and stuff look bad. That's because I'm not really taking care of a lot of stuff anymore. If it makes it, it makes it. I'll harvest it, but I'm ready to move on to fall. That is a Gemini Dello. I'll grab that off of there soon. How delish. This one also had ants and aphids pretty bad. Doesn't look like they're really here anymore. When I look, I don't see them. We got marigolds in here, some very, very yellow eggplant leaves. I also don't need any more eggplant. Like, I don't want to eat any more eggplant. Another reason why I'm definitely not worried about this plant, but look how big it gets in there. Let me turn it a little bit. This is that eggplant, y'all. That gets really big in green stalks. I found that they grow really well in green stalks. And then you have this pepper plant. This is the candy cane, just like the one that I was showing you in the greenhouse. Very prolific and growing a lot of candy cane peppers. I'm leaving them because I want them to turn red. They're yellow right now. Oh, like this one is starting to look a little red, dark yellow. Is that a color? Anyway, that green stalk looks good. However, we're not worrying about taking care of it because I'm ready to move on to fall. So I have a garden bed right beside here. We harvested all of the peppers yesterday. Maybe I'll link to the harvest video since like it doesn't look like I'm growing food, I'm growing plants. Anyway, sorry y'all. These beans down here are dragon tongue beans, and I'm actually leaving them right now because see, like we have a pod right here. I want that pod to get big. I want the beans to get big so that I can save the seed. And that way I won't have to buy these beans. That's the whole thing going on here. I have harvested beans out of here all season long, but now I want to try to save seeds. There's another one right there. So that's the whole deal right here. There were black beans over there. I harvested those because I want to keep the dried beans. There's basil in this bed. Like I said, my basil did not do well this year. That one is flowering. This one is not. I could still be picking that. These are bell peppers. I have decided we won't be doing bell peppers again next year. I had this idea that I'll do all bell peppers. I will let them turn red or yellow or orange, whatever color, and then I have sweet peppers because I am not a lover of bell peppers, right? But either something ate them or they got sun scald. So I ended up having to pull them green. So my daughter loves green peppers, but the rest of us, not so much. So this should be interesting to see what we do with the green peppers. I'm definitely going to freeze some of them. My daughter is already talking about making stuffed peppers for herself because I will eat the filling, but I ain't eating the pepper. So yeah, we won't be doing that again next year. I am on the hunt for a large red pepper, or it could be orange or yellow, that is like close to bell but not bell, because what I found is if the pepper says like golden Marconi, it doesn't stay green for a long time. It ends up turning red soon. Bell peppers take a long time to ripen, so I'm saying turn red, I mean ripen. If you're not new here, I say a bunch of crazy stuff sometimes, but I definitely know what I mean. So these are our teddy bear sunflowers that I wanted so bad. I am very delighted to see how they grew this year. Teddy bear sunflowers are beautiful. They don't get huge and you can still have sunflowers in your garden. And this is one that I really like. This section of the garden has pretty much been bare all summer. I did not use this well. It had leeks in it and I got allium leaf miner. And then I did some chaos sowing of cilantro and I didn't keep it moist, and then I just covered it with straw. It could have been used better, but with everything else that's growing in this garden, I'm not beating myself up about it. And there's another section over here that's doing the same thing. Now, what I am beating myself up about over in this bed is that I am allowing this crawling grass to get up in here. I cannot do that. That crawling grass is absolutely awful, y'all. It's absolutely awful. And I know somebody gonna tell me don't throw it on the ground. I'm gonna come back and get it. I'm not gonna leave it there. I need to weed anyway. I see the oh my goodness, I gotta get that too, y'all. This right here is very invasive. It looks like cucamelon. It is not cucamelon. It is invasive and it will take over my whole entire garden if I let it. So yeah, that's one thing I am trying to watch, is that I don't let the crawling grass into the bed. It's all over my garden. It's all over my front yard. It's everywhere. So it's kind of inevitable that I'm gonna have it. I just try to keep it out of the garden beds. Here we have some more teddy bear sunflowers. They've seen better days, but they were absolutely beautiful. They're still beautiful. We still have a few. They get multiple heads. That's another reason why I like it. Girl, she scared me, babe. Look at her. See, I told you she just undid all of my work over there. She probably eating bugs, so that's a plus. But she undid all my work, if y'all can see her. Anyway, they have multiple heads. Beautiful, beautiful flowers if you're looking for a smaller sunflower. And back here, you have some more patio variety tomatoes. They've seen better days, but they're also still producing. So I'm just leaving them. Patio tomatoes, very prolific. They have short plants, so they're determinants, and they've been in since early in the season too. Short plants, but produced a lot. They produced a whole bunch. Down here, you got some royal burgundy beans. They just didn't do well, y'all. So I'm letting them dry, and I'm gonna save those beans too. They have done well for me. They just didn't do well this year. Oh, the middle, we have some more peppers. They're bell peppers. We also harvested those yesterday. Then down the middle of the aisle that I just walked down, we have some Space Master 80 cucumbers, which are doing really well. They needed to be trellised, but I'm trying to like send them down the bag, so that's kind of working. There's also sunflowers in here. I don't think they're all teddy bear though. I think I did different sunflower varieties, but they shouldn't take long, if that makes sense. And then these will be getting cleared out soon too. So we hopefully will get some more cucumber harvest out of here, some pretty sunflowers, and then we'll clear this walkway. So further down, you have some more peppers. These are ravaged with ants and aphids. Can you see them? They are everywhere. And I started out spraying water and all of that stuff. I'm not doing anything. Feel free to leave your tips for someone to use. I'm not doing anything to them. I'm tired of them. I'm gonna be honest with you. However, I am still getting harvest from them. We harvest from them yesterday, but am I actively doing anything? Absolutely not. It's a pepper right there. And then our cantaloupe, hopefully we'll get another one. This one is pretty small. We still have this melon over here. Don't know what it is, but it is still trying to grow up the trellis. And considering I don't grow things on the trellises for fall, I'm gonna leave these plants, hopefully, now that they are not shaded, because that's what happened here. They got shaded by the tomatoes, that we'll get some more harvest here. We shall see. Back here, we have a bunch of tomato plants that could absolutely just be pulled. These were, great white. There's a Cherokee purple. These are early girls, and these have been planted since early in the season, and they are still producing. So early girls are an amazing variety. These will be ready to harvest soon. You can see where it's turning yellow, and they'll be red soon, and so I'll harvest those. And they got more flowers and more tomatoes growing up there. So yeah, I love these. I think this is also an early girl. Yeah, this is another early girl. So they did really well and still producing in July. So yeah, love that. Over here, you have more tomatoes that could be pulled. I think these are San Marzanos. Yeah, Yeah, it didn't do well. And I have grown them before, but for some reason this year they didn't do well. Yeah, San Marzanos. So we'll be pulling those soon. I'm not gonna put anything else in. I think I've had enough of summer, and we still just have a whole bunch of tomatoes left. So this wall is tomatoes, but there's tomatoes on the other side. We'll talk about it when we get over there. Back here is our flower bed that we recently redid. I need to get my gutters clean. That's why we have this line going down this right here, because it's coming over the gutter. Ugh. 'Tis always something to do. So I need to get my gutters clean. I'm gonna call somebody. I don't know, I didn't think about it. Anyway, down here you have lemon balm in a pot. I wouldn't dare put it in the ground. It's like mint. There's mint right here. This is not mint. This is a weed. A very deep-rooted weed that's in the mint pot. Anyway, there's mint back there. There's feverfew. There's comfrey. This is probably not their forever home, but for now, this is where it is, because we recently pulled out a bunch of the plant, well, all of the plants in this area, put in this hose link garden bed, which I absolutely love. Love the color, love the length, love all things about it. And I'm gonna get it planted, but gotta get the gutters clean, because anything I plant is just going to end up being washed away. Down here you have anise hyssop. Probably not keeping this anise hyssop. I do not use it. When I first started my gardening journey, I wanted to do all the things. I wanted to can everything. I wanted to grow every medicinal herb. I wanted to do all of that, right? I'm not saying I don't want to anymore. I just think I want to do it at a different pace. So the anise hyssop grows well. It's very good for pollinators. However, I think I have something that would better serve me growing in these pots. So we shall see. But right now, there are other things that I need to focus on, like getting my fall plant started and put in, getting the greenhouse up. So those things can stay at least for one more year. We also have a fig with figs on it. They're pretty small. They are also in a bag and have not been taken care of. I mean, I have not done anything. All of this stuff, if I'm honest, that you're seeing right here was not taken care of. It was in pots over where I now have green stalks, and I wasn't doing anything to them. Resilient, because herbs are resilient, like I said, even growing in pots. And then my eucalyptus over here, y'all. Oh, the weeds are outrageous. I'm gonna come through with my hose link thing and try to pull a lot of these from the root. They gotta come up from the root or they just gonna keep growing. Anyway, my eucalyptus is beautiful. This space is a mess, y'all. I'm gonna clean it. Also not at the top of my list of things to do, but this space is absolutely a mess. But my eucalyptus looks amazing. This is another thing that I'm doing nothing to, and it just grows all on its own. We have pots back there that a lot of this stuff is gonna be replaced with, whether it's what's already here or something else. Those pots are what's gonna adorn this space, not these. We have a completely empty bed over here. Why? Because whatever is eating my beans continued to eat my beans. And so I decided, let's just cover this bed up and call it a DAY. This will grow something, probably broccoli or collards. This whole space is pretty much gonna be broccoli or collards. With that being the case, I didn't replant them. They're not growing back. Whatever is eating them is really, really eating them. These were purple potted. This was my second sowing, and I was like, nope, not wasting any more seeds on this. Zinnias look beautiful. They look beautiful. You know, I haven't been harvesting my flowers as much as I should, but we still have time. I can start. Look how pretty that is, y'all. It's absolutely beautiful. Got new ones coming in. Zinnias will go right up into the frost too. We got a little like powdery mildew, I guess. I'm not sure on them. It does happen, so they might not be here too much longer. We're a very humid state, and so that's what happens. But they're still very pretty. Anywho, we have tomatoes right in front of those zinnias. These are colonials, and some of them definitely are blushing, need to be harvested. I harvest almost every day. I'll come back out here later on today and harvest. This bed is also empty. We'll have collards or broccoli in it. This was supposed to be beans, but I decided not to try it again because it just wasn't working. There's a blueberry bush. It looks terrible, y'all. The blueberry bush this year, well, the blueberries in general this year, I didn't take care of. I did not fertilize or anything at the beginning of the spring, and they showed me that I should probably do that. No, ma'am. We're gonna pull this out. It's an elderberry. We do have a few elderberries on here. Those are like the only ones that really survive. But this is a mess. It's too big for my space. I'm gonna cut it back. I'm gonna dig it up. Look at this. Like, no, ma'am. No ma'am, it's too big for my space. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Anyway, back this way a little bit. Look at those mini-me cucumbers from Halls. They are very prolific, y'all. Once they get started, they giving out the cucumbers once they get started. Same thing with the Hossinators. I've harvested quite a few of those. I think these are mini-me's, but this is the Hossinator. And there's one back here. Like, they look really good. They do really well. This has been my best cucumber year. I've never grown Hossinator or mini-me. My best cucumber year since like the second year that I grew a garden. So these are gonna be my go-to. Not only are they prolific, but they're still growing in July. That's gonna be number one. The squash bugs have been all over this plant and it has not died, even though, you know, I'm coming out here to pull them off. And at a point, this plant looked really bad and I just knew it was going to die. It did not, and neither one of them. So we got mini-me's and Hossinators still growing. So pretty sure these are gonna be my varieties. I'm very much getting to the point where I wanna know I don't need to grow every variety. I don't need to grow everything that's exotic. I just need to grow what I can eat and that what I'm going to eat. And so finding the varieties that really work, that really produce, that's like my big thing now. I'm all on that. So with that being the case, Hossinator mini-me will definitely be in my garden going forward. We have more tomatoes here. Some of them seem to be dying out a little bit. Think these are early girl, but this is an early girl too that's still producing. Y'all see all them tomatoes? This is a Supremo. Oh, they are so big. They so big, y'all. I love them. That's another one right there, Supremo. They're mixed in at this point. Also, there's an Amish paste in here and a super sauce. I did not realize that. I saw it the other day. Well, yesterday when I was doing what she is undoing. I realized that. But it's just a lot of tomatoes still here too. I'm excited about that. When a few had died back here, I really didn't care, y'all. Because I have so many right here. And this one, this is a huge plant. They're indeterminates on a cattle panel trellis. Once I'm finished with this, I'm going to lift this cattle panel trellis away from the soil so it can be just a little bit taller. Hopefully we can avoid some of this. We're not going to avoid all of it because it's just a really big plant. Our corn looks amazing. Growing in 7-gallon grow bags. The stalks look amazing. Of course, we don't have any corn yet. I also planted these pretty late. This was like a succession sowing. These bags had potatoes in them. So the corn was a succession sowing. So were these cucumbers and the sunflowers. Some of the bags don't have anything. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's too late in the season for me to care. But yeah, look at that corn. And this cucumber is going up that corn plant. So I'm hopeful, y'all. Now, this is the one thing. I'm about to get some fish emulsion and do some fertilizer of it because it really needs to be fertilized. I have not fertilized it once, but I did make it with good things. So I think that's why they're growing so well, but I need to make sure that it has the nutrients it needs to make the actual corn. So yeah, so y'all didn't get to see this bed when I finished it yesterday, but I guarantee you it didn't look like this. She has taken the soil out because she's kicking it, which means a lot of my amendments are in the front of this bed. So I got to figure this out. I may end up having to enclose her in the run space, but not like in the cage part of it. Because yeah, this cannot happen. This is crazy. Like all of my amendments, a lot of my amendments are on the outside of this bed and just absolutely not. But for today, you may stay. Y'all, these blueberries got to get moved, baby. I just don't know where just yet. So these blueberry bushes, I have 6 of them total, I believe. They need to be moved, baby. Ain't no way. It's just no space. It's no space. Like, this is me. This is the garden bed. This is the blueberries. I would like this to be the walking space if I could. Also, these tomatoes look terrible. And when I say terrible, they just all over the place. The plants, whoa, child. The plants themselves don't look terrible. I'll show you from another angle. But also, these sunflowers are pretty much ready. They're making seed. These are pro-cut sunflowers. Somebody asked me, do they make seeds? Yes, they do make seeds. I didn't know because I had not grown pro-cut sunflowers before, so I didn't know. But yeah, they make seeds. Nice. Probably saved them. These were from Haas too, and I really like them. And somebody said you only get one head, but this one definitely has more than one head. This is a pro-cut, so I don't know. This one has more than one head, just showing you. Right beside those sunflowers, you have more tomatoes. These are Italian Romas, still producing, still doing well. We did have or do have hornworms over here, but we also have the parasitic wasps. And so I didn't look for them. But also remember I was telling y'all this plant is gonna grow sucker. This is where the hornworm ate, but you see this? It's just growing suckers. So I don't recommend just leaving hornworms. So let me make sure I say that. I left that hornworm, the one that I found, because it had parasitic wasp on it, which means nature is doing what nature is supposed to do in this space right here. And that's why I was like, I'm just gonna leave it and the plant will grow back. And that's essentially what's happening here. These are determinate tomatoes, by the way. And in July, they are still here and still producing. Oh, she's eating my tomato. Hey girl, no ma'am. It's not even ripe though. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to put her in here, not in the main thing. Like she won't just be stuck in there. She could be in here. I need to clear some space so she can have some walking space. But yeah, she's starting to tear up. She did good for the first week and there she got comfortable. No ma'am. So these are tomatoes I was telling y'all about. They look a mess, baby. They look a mess, but they still producing. They still green. They not diseased and all of that stuff. Everything can go if I'm honest. I say that, but I'm not gonna pull this stuff out because we have so many things growing and I can see my goal in these plants. So, well, hello, look at her. What are you doing? Eat some of these weeds down here. But she is eating bugs, y'all see that? She's useful, but also she's tearing up things. Like, girl, just be useful. Don't tear up things so I can let you stay out. Anyway, this a mess. It is a dahlia bed with snapdragons, and the snapdragons just kept going because this area is a bit shaded, but it's also just a big mess. There's also saffron over here that should come back in the fall. We shall see. Ooh! And the amount of weeds. Like, girl, get over here and mow these weeds down. She said no. And she said I won't be doing that. Anyway, y'all. Oh, this is another bed that was growing black beans, and I cleared this one yesterday when I cleared the one that she keeps tearing up. This is looking good. This is looking real good for July. In case y'all was wondering, look how green that garden still is. We have had 100-degree days and this garden is still green. I am so happy. Like, this has just been a great garden year. And I'm very, very happy that it worked out this way. Tell me how your garden is doing down in the comments. Let's have a conversation, y'all. I'm super excited, but I'm also very excited to switch this over to fall when the time comes. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram where I post about the things going on in my garden almost every day. Bye, y'all.